Greetings from Team Showstoppers. In this presentation, we are going to demonstrate our case study solutions of the Industrial Practices and Methodologies midterm exam. The case study was titled A Situation in an Electric Scooter Company. Let's proceed with it since this was a group project. Our team consists of 3 members. My name is Megha Vaswani and my roll number is this one. Let's proceed with the solutions. The first question was the company wanted to do an analysis of the app, and we were expected to mind map the top 10 features which we want in the app to be integrated with. And so here is the mind map. These are the 10 features. Let me demonstrate them one by one. So the first one is overspeed alert while riding. Using this feature, the rider can get notifications about the speed in which they are driving the vehicle, and if they exceed a safe speed limit, they will be notified so they can adapt safe speed habits. This ensures the safety of rider. Then the next feature is anti-theft alert. Using this feature, if an unauthenticated user uses the vehicle, then the authenticated rider can get notifications on vehicle safety, hence named anti-theft alert. Then third one is Google Map navigation and live vehicle tracking. Documents upload facility. Documents like registration certificate, RC, insurance license, etc. can be uploaded in the app. This would be a nice feature. Timely notifications about battery or charging status. This will alert the rider about their battery level and the progress in the charging, etc. Then Bluetooth connection for calls, music, etc. When if the driver is riding and he or she wants to receive an important call, then this feature is important, and because a Bluetooth connection will be very significant in that use case. Then ride stats like distance traveled, battery used, speed, etc. This having this feature would help in uh, knowing driver of the mileage of the vehicle. That's why this feature is useful. And interactive UI and UX, this is very obvious. Tire pressure monitoring system, if the app could integrate a feature of monitoring the pressure in tires, then this could optimize the vehicle performance and make it more efficient. And the last one is periodic scooter servicing alerts. Among these features, the 5 most critical features are listed down here. Google Map navigation and live vehicle tracking, overspeed alert while riding, tire pressure monitoring system, ride stats like distance covered, safe speed, battery used, etc. and timely notifications about battery and charging status. This is all about question 1. So in question 5, what we were asked was, based on the top 10 features what we had selected, we were expected to do a relative priority exercise, meaning we have to divide the features into 2 groups, P1 or P2, based on their priority, and also we were expected to rank those features from 1 to 10. So here is a comprehensive table about all the features, their corresponding ranks from 1 to 10, and their group division, whether they belong from whether they belong to P1 or P2, where P1 stands for most important or priority 1 features, and P2 stands for lesser important but still critical features. Yeah, here is the reason for all the rankings. Why we have ranked overspeed alert as the first priority, because it directly impacts the safety of the rider and it helps in preventing accidents and is very essential for rider safety. And next, anti-theft alert is ranked as second priority because it promotes vehicle safety. And notifications about battery status and tire pressure monitoring system are still ranked third and fourth, because battery notifications or charging notifications help in knowing the battery level uh, and the charging progress. And tire pressure monitoring system uh, will help in knowing the pressure present in the tires, so that the tires could be filled with more pressure or air when traveling for longer routes. Hence they are critical features. Then next, rest of the features are still important, but they don't have any direct impact on vehicle performance. Hence, they are grouped as P2 or priority 2. So there was also question 7. The question said the company would like the app to have intelligence, and it would like to collect some data from the app. So what kind of data can be collected and what kind of relevant recommendations can be generated from that data? So this part of the question is answered in this table, wherein there are two columns: the type of data that can be fetched and used, and the relevant recommendation can be generated. So the most critical, what we could think of as GPS data, it will be helpful in generating speed control or overspeed related alerts. Like suppose if a driver exceeds the safe speed limit, then he or she could be um, alerted with about their speed, and hence they can adapt safer speed habits. And also this data can be used for generating live location alerts. The next what we have is accelerometer sensor data, which can be used to generate theft alerts. Like suppose if an unauthenticated driver tries to move the vehicle, then accelerometer can sense that movement, and this data can be used for generating alerts that the vehicle is not safe and there may be situation of theft and all. Third one is battery data from battery management system. This could be useful in generating alerts related to battery levels and charging progress, what the vehicle is going through. Yes, this is all about this part of the question. The next part of the question asks that if this data can be used for analysis, and whether AI and ML can be used for analyzing this, and if even if they are able to analyze this, then what will be the use cases of these analysis? So the answer is yes. Definitely, AI and ML can be used for analysis of this data, but the use cases in those scenarios will be: the first one is scooter mileage prediction from daily riding starts. Uh, Using the daily riding starts, like distance traveled per kilometer, distance traveled per liter per unit of battery charge, we can have an expected mileage, scooter expected mileage, and lifespan of vehicle can be known from this mileage prediction. And the second use case is traffic prediction in the most traveled lane. Suppose if the vehicle goes through a route more frequently than others, then this data can be used for generating traffic in that route. uh, yeah, so this is all about this part of the question. From my part is done. From next slides onwards, my group members will be demonstrating the solutions. Thank you.
A warm welcome to all. I am Pranjal Verma and my roll number is 221000039. I will be covering three questions, that is question number 2, 3 and 12. Answer for question number 2. Here we need to tell how we can upload documents to our vehicle and what are its security concerns. Here these are the assumptions we are taking: that our vehicle is equipped with Wi-Fi and Bluetooth. Also, it has internal storage and PDF viewer and a file management system. Here, first we need to open our app in the phone and select the upload option. Then we can select the file, which can be in PDF or image format. Then upload it to the vehicle via Wi-Fi direct. This excludes the use of cloud, which saves time and money, and also it is more practical to directly send the files to the vehicle instead of using any cloud in between. The file in the vehicle are encrypted, so even if a person has direct access to the memory, he can't view or decrypt the file. Also, a only paired phone can upload the image or PDF to the vehicle, and other phone has to connect or pair to the vehicle first using QR code method, which is common in this industry. Also, the data is stored offline and can be accessed anywhere. Answer number 3. Here we are taking two complaints. First complaint is the vehicle is much heavier than that of their competition for the same power. The reason can be in the battery technology, as uh, carbon silicon battery is latest. We might be using lithium ion cells with graphite anodes, which are heavier and has less energy density. Thus, it requires more volume of the lithium ion cells to give the same range as of a silicon carbon battery, which increases the weight of the battery. Or we might be using heavy components such as steel or iron instead of aluminum or fiber composites. Also, the weight distribution might be uneven, which customer might feel heavy. For example, components like battery, if not placed properly, it can imbalance in the vehicle, create imbalance in the vehicle. Add-on features. Also, we are using larger display, heavy infotainment system, providing great storage. Thus, it might increase the curb weight of the whole vehicle. Test case scenario. We can test the prototype battery of a silicon carbon versus the lithium ion which we are currently using. Compare their thermal behavior, density, and weight. Also, we can measure the components' weight differently and check whether they are in a right distribution and the center of mass is in right position, because if they are not in a proper form or in a proper architecture, it may create imbalance in the vehicle. Also, we can collect weight and components spec from leading competitors with similar motor ratings and battery capacity. Complaint 2 is charging is taking longer with more usage. Also, the charge runs out suddenly when less charge is left. This might be because of lithium ion battery, because lithium ion uses capacity when it's get older. So we can use silicon carbon battery tech, which has more life cycle for the charging. Also, the SoC might give inaccurate estimation, which user interprets it wrong, or it gives wrong estimation, thus resulting in a misreport. No early morning at low battery. Riders may experience sudden shut-off due to missing or low stage battery alert. Thermal throttling and poor heat management. Excessive battery heat can slow down charging. To protect the battery, we slow down the charging, so leads to faster energy drain at lower battery level. When the battery is hot, the battery drains faster. So we might have been using wrong cooling system. Test case scenario. We can test for the life cycle of the battery, in which we charge the battery from 0 to 100 many times. SoC accuracy test. Validate reported and actual capacity. Low battery behavior simulation. We can test when the battery is lower, what alerts we are getting. It's a fallback behavior. Thermal performance test. Evaluate how temperature affects the charging time and discharge rate. We can note how the temperature affects the charging time and the discharging rate. We know that a higher temperature leads to greater charging time, but how much we need to do a test for that. Cooling system efficiency check. Whether we are using the right cooling system, we can check. For example, if we use a liquid cool instead of air cool, the battery might cool easily and give longer range. Answer number 12. Here we have to design the UI and UX. First we have a home screen where we are displaying speedometer, battery, range, navigation preview, ride mode, time, temperature and odometer. Yes, these are necessary. The main menu, we have 8 options. US highlights. We need to confirm. For confirming a click, we need to do a double touch, and we have also included a swipe gestures. For example, we can scroll down in the main menu to get back in the home screen, or we can swipe down in the home screen, get notification panel, etc. I will be explaining in later slides. UI locks automatically after inactivity or when scooter turns off. Larger targets and icons with high contrast. Day and night UI themes. Here we have illustrations. First is the lock screen. When we start the vehicle, it first asks us to enter the pin. This is the cross button. This is the enter button. After entering, we will get to see home screen where the speed is shown in center, range, battery, odo, time, date, and also the rev meter. These are all the essential things which are need to be shown while riding. And if we swipe up in the home screen, we will get to see main menu, which has a grid of 8 elements, and we can double click in that in the options. For example, in the rider's profile, we have the name of the rider, image of the rider, and a QR of the vehicle. Also, we can see the documents vault where we have RC license, etc. Also, we can connect our mobile with the vehicle via Bluetooth to play any music, or we have a notification or alert history, or you can check the connectivity of Bluetooth or Wi-Fi, or other settings are there. Also, the navigation is there. This is the charging screen where we are showing the battery percentage, the current battery, and the estimated time remaining for the battery to get 100%. This is the notification panel which we get to see when we swipe down in the home screen, and on top left we have two icons where we can see the status of the Bluetooth and Wi-Fi, whether they are connected or not, and down there we have notifications and alerts of the vehicle. That's it. Thank you.
Hello, sir. Today I'll be discussing the 10th question, that is the research on the evolution of the electric vehicles and how it will be from 10 years from now. Here I have represented in a diagrammatic way. In the early 1800s, which was the first steps of the EV evolution, that is the electronic vehicle evolution, we saw first small step scale car production in Hungary. Then there was a practical implementation in Netherlands. And then we had some small battery usage, but they were only of short range. So then in the late 1800s, EV became quite popular in cities for the quiet and clean operation. Actually, it compromised for about 30% of the vehicles in the US too, but had limitations such as its low range and charging time. Sir, then came the uh, era of the petrol and diesel vehicles. It led to advancement in the gasoline cars like Ford model. EV phased out due to limited battery tech and range. Sir, EV's innovation also stopped here because of the upcoming of the new car models. So then come the rebirth phase of the in the 1900s, in which the new batteries at the NIMH batteries were came into the era, but still it had limited, high cost and poor infrastructure. Then came the main phase of the EV, in which we saw advancement in the gasoline cars like Ford model. EVs phased out due to limited battery tech and range. Then in the last phase, that is in the current phase, we saw car companies like Ford, Tata, Hyundai and MG, cost reduction of batteries and increase in two-wheelers and public electronic vehicle adoption. Example is the Ola Ether in India. AI integrated navigation has also played a major role. Coming on to the future trends that will is in the next 10 to 15 years, we can see solid state batteries which will be safer, double the energy density, 1000 plus kilometer range, ultra fast charging. Battery swapping options might be also available, sir. Coming on to the ultra fast and wireless charging, public chargers reaching 500 plus kilowatts, delivering nearly 80% of the charge in 5 to 10 minutes. Wireless charging like our mobiles could also be done through the tires of the vehicles. The hyperconnectivity, the 6G and V2X vehicle to everything communication might be possible, and the sustainability and circular economy, that is the EVs might become recyclable, and the assemblance and dissemblance of the EVs might become possible. Here I have represented all the points in a diagrammatic way, covering all the points. Also, affordability comes as a point, and power source like solar power might be used in order to charge the batteries. Coming on to the next question, here I have categorized the scenarios into 4 ways, sir. The first one is the discharging and alerts. The second one, charging testing, environmental testing, and durability testing. Here are the points that what it checks and why is it important. Like coming like the charging testing, what is check is the how well and how safely the battery charges and why it is important is charging experience is critical for users satisfaction and safety. Like the durability tells us long-term wear and how the battery ages with use, and why it is important is that critical for customer trust and product reputation. Like here I have explained it with the help of a flowchart diagram that I have drawn. Like the 4 categories are charging, discharging, alerts, durability and life cycle. Environmental test. In charging we come up with charging time validation, like if it is charging in the given time frame or not. Overcharging protection, as the name suggests, fast charging functionality that I covered earlier. Charging alert, like if 100% charging is done, then alert is given in the phones. The discharging alerts, sudden battery discharge, like if we are driving and battery suddenly discharges, for that we can test up to 5000 plus times for a sudden shutdown. The timely warning for low battery less than 50%, as we can see. The real-time sync of app with the vehicle, very important point. Consistent ride performance throughout, like if the battery percent is 80, it gives the same performance at 25%. Environmental testing, like the testing the vehicle in extreme temperatures like -10 degrees Celsius to 50 degrees Celsius, and the swelling of the batteries during the accidents, or the overweight of the people. And finally, the priority pyramid, like the red here is critical, yellow is medium, and green is low. Few points are like in red we can see overcharging protection, sudden battery discharge test, safety shutdown. These all comes under the critical and must be covered and must be checked without the deployment of our vehicle in the market. The medium, colored in yellow, might include the battery drainage in ideal, like if it kept idle just standing for few months, how much the battery life will reduce. Battery charging time might also come, like it should be done under the 4 hours as considered in our point. This also comes in the medium, and in the green, that is the low priority points, where if it is kept idle for over 6 months, what it will be its use. Battery weight validation, that was in the cover point, checking if the new battery weighs less than the target weight. So yeah sir, these were the points. Thank you sir.